Trump posted on Twitter. It is extremely popular and has strong bipartisan support. It will also help a lot of people, save taxpayer dollars, and keep our community safe. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a Virginia jury on Tuesday sentenced to life in prison a self-described neo-Nazi who killed a woman when he rammed his car into a crowd protesting 2 days of white supremacist rallies in the college town of Charlottesville, Virginia. The jury urged a judge to send James Field to prison for the rest of his life, 4 days after finding the Ohio man guilty of first-degree murder and 9 other crimes for killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 others after the Unite the Right gathering in August 2017. The event proved a critical moment in the rise of the alt-right. Trump was criticized from the left and right for initially saying that there were fine people on both sides of a dispute between neo-Nazis and their opponents, and subsequent alt-right gatherings failed to draw the crowds of hundreds of people that assembled in Charlottesville. Judge Richard Moore said he will decide whether to accept the jury's recommendation at a March 29th hearing. In addition to a life term for murder, the jury suggested a total of 419 years in prison for the 9 other crimes Fields was convicted of. Attorneys for Fields, who did not speak to reporters after Tuesday's court session, never disputed that Fields accelerated his Dodge Charger into a group of counter-protesters, sending bodies flying. The lawyers instead suggested that he felt intimidated by a hostile crowd and acted in self-defense. Fields was photographed hours before the attack carrying a shield with the emblems of a far-right hate group. He has identified as a neo-Nazi. He also faces separate federal hate crime charges, which carry a potential death sentence. He has pled not guilty in that case. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It was a big night for music's hottest acts, especially for Lord Chillingsworth. In a shocking upset, the young artist took home the spookiest Halloween sound effect album Grammy for Creepy Night in Halloween Manor. Music blogger Ty Vaughn is here. Ty, what a shocker.
Lord Chillingsworth's track, Man Being Boiled Alive While Chains Rattle in a Dungeon, was crazy spooky. It was everywhere this year. Haunted houses, Halloween stores, nighttime hayrides. Anywhere you look, people were getting the willies from this album.
But a lot of people thought Grammy darling Dr. Spookenstein was a shoo-in to win for his album Laboratory of Madness.
And that was a great album. Critics praised Spookenstein's stripped-down approach, rattling real bones together and dripping real blood onto a screaming lady.
The class act Spookenstein offered a gracious congratulations to Chillingsworth, saying, "I'm a fan of every bloody who was nominated, especially Chillingsworth. I have a skeleton ton of respect for him as an artist. I just saw him on the red carpet and congratulated him."
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and as always, we invite you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And with you in the studio here tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
I guess Conan's had some car trouble. I don't know if we're going to be seeing him here tonight, but that's okay. We got plenty of things to talk about, including a terrible court ruling out of Kansas. After years of what seems like progress in the world of cannabis legalization across the United States, there's a major setback in Topeka, Kansas. This probably won't be affecting too many other people unless it goes up to the national Supreme Court, which it might. The Kansas Supreme Court, divided 4-3, has ruled that police can rely exclusively on their sense of smell to provide probable cause for a preliminary search of a home for marijuana without a warrant.
Hold on. So I've got several questions here that maybe whatever news story you have that gives the background of how this case actually went to the Supreme Court. But I'm trying to figure out how would police wind up being able to get close enough to smell a house.
Well, I mean, you would be downwind from it as an officer, and you'd go, "What's that I smell? I smell marijuana, and I believe that be coming from that direction of that house right over there, over yonder, and, well, I guess we don't need a warrant here now, gentlemen, so let's just go right in." I mean, that seems like what they're saying here. They just have to claim they smelled. Same thing with when you're in your car, and they claim they smell marijuana on you.
Well, in that case, they either need you to give consent or they need an effing warrant.
If they claim they smell marijuana in a car? I'm not sure about that.
As I understand it.
I'm not sure about that.
That's why they always say, I'm going to have to ask you to search your car.
I don't know if they have to ask if they smell marijuana. I'm not sure about that.
Well, the question's going to be, how many times can they testify that they smelled marijuana, not find anything, and then still be able to say, I smelled marijuana?
Unlimited. Because there's no tracking of that, right? Like the same judge, unless the same judge looks at the same cop 10 different times and says, all right, no more of this.
At some point, you have an unreliable witness.
No doubt about it.
If I testify that I saw every armed robbery that ever happened, but I wasn't able to identify anybody, and there's evidence that I wasn't there to actually identify it, I'm an unreliable witness.
But you're also not a cop. And so if you're a cop,
the rules of witnesses should still apply to cops.
They should. However, you know as well as I do that the police have a different set of rules for them when it comes to the court and what the judge will believe. And look, if you are a cop who's claiming falsely that you smell marijuana coming from somebody's car, and you've done it a bunch of times, and you're worried that you're going to start looking like an unreliable witness, well, then you just plant some marijuana the next time, and it's all good. The 4-3 ruling extends to residences. This from Fox4KC.com. Already established, extends to residences and already established practice in Kansas that allows police to search vehicles for marijuana based only on smells. So they're just basically extrapolating, well, we can do this in a car in Kansas. Maybe it's not allowed in some other states, Darryl, but apparently in Kansas, if a cop sniffs out what he believes to be the smell of marijuana in your car, that is justification for a search. They're now saying that's also true about houses. The ruling came Friday in a case in which Lawrence police entered a man's apartment without a warrant because they detected a strong smell of raw marijuana. The justices rejected arguments by Lawrence Hubbard's attorney that sought to suppress evidence of drugs because the initial warrantless search by Lawrence police officer Kimberly Nicholson and another officer violated his constitutional rights. The lawyer also argued that Nicholson's testimony that she smelled raw marijuana coming from the apartment was inadmissible expert testimony and questioned whether the officer could detect the smell of raw marijuana inside the apartment while standing outside of the front door. The majority opinion written by Justice Dan Biles that upheld Hubbard's convictions said officers didn't have to perform a sophisticated sensory task before performing the warrantless search. He wrote in the decision, quote, "We are not dealing with sommeliers trying to identify a white wine as a Loire Valley Chenin Blanc," he wrote in the decision.
Sommelier is that
That's
word.
A wine expert. Yeah.
Yes.
Did I not say sommelier?
No.
I thought I did. Okay. The officers...
I didn't hear it as sommelier.
Okay. The officers entered Hubbard's apartment in November of 2013. After later obtaining a search warrant, they found 25 grams of unsmoked marijuana in a closed Tupperware container locked inside a safe in a bedroom closet. A small amount of weed was detected on a partially burnt cigarillo in the living room.
All right. Hold on. Less than an ounce in a Tupperware container locked in a safe, and this jackhole said he smelled it while standing on the porch?
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I don't buy it.
I don't either. And the term raw marijuana, what does that even mean? I thought that meant plants. I thought she said she was smelling, a grow operation or something like that. When I hear raw marijuana, because burnt marijuana is one thing, that smells like something, and then room full of plants is going to smell completely different from...
Right. I guess what they mean by raw is...
just buds, marijuana buds.
Prepared flowers that you are not yet lighting on fire.
Right. 25 grams, so under an ounce in a Tupperware container inside a safe, inside a bedroom closet. Yeah, right. The closet holding the marijuana was an estimated 30 feet from where Nicholson said she first smelled unsmoked marijuana, said Hubbard's attorney. His name is Jim Rumsey. Rumsey said, from 30 feet away, we're supposed to believe she can smell raw marijuana? I'd suggest no reasonable person could do that. Kate Butler, an assistant district attorney in Douglas County who argued the state's case before the Supreme Court, said the officers properly established probable cause and the initial security sweep prevented someone inside the apartment from destroying possible evidence of a crime. She said, what we do have is two officers very familiar with the smell of marijuana testify using words such as overwhelming, potent, and very strong. A dissenting opinion authored by Justice Carol Beyer said Hubbard's conviction should be reversed and his sentence vacated. Beyer said a lower court ruling failed to demonstrate the lawfulness of the search warrant and determine whether police officers should have been qualified as expert witnesses. So this is really bad legal precedent in Kansas. And, of course, this all started at a district or superior court level where this person initially lost. I don't know if it was a jury trial at which they lost, but, this is just a shocking case all around. The idea that a jury could be convinced, and I guess welcome to Kansas, that a cop has the... you might be able to believe a dog could smell through Tupperware inside a safe, but even that is... a suspicious claim.
Right, and especially considering, and I forget the percentage, it's somewhere between 50 and 75%
of the failure rates of dogs.
Yeah, people doing these tests on, let's see how accurate the dog is, and they hide stuff, and it's some remarkable amount of time where the dogs either don't find the thing at all, or they find everything that's not there.
Yeah. And what is the punishment, again, for the officer who says they smell marijuana, but then they find absolutely nothing?
Oops, my bad.
Yeah, there's probably no real consequence whatsoever for that.
If you reported something that turned out to not be the thing that you reported, well, now it's making a false report to police, and you go to jail.
Yeah. It's terrible that if you're in Kansas and you're a marijuana user, this is an incredibly dangerous thing because basically all it means is somebody gives an anonymous tip to the police, then the police show up saying, oh, well, my ex-boyfriend, or, you don't say who you are, but if you don't like your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, you send an anonymous tip to the police saying so-and-so's got some weed in their apartment or whatever, and if the cops feel like it, they can just go and claim to smell weed while standing outside the front door. And then that's it. They're pounding on your door, demanding to be let in, and that's it. You go to prison. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Now, in the other states where we've actually seen cannabis legalized and decriminalized significantly, the war against it doesn't seem to be going on as earnestly as it has previously. In fact, I was on Boston.com, the Boston Globe website, and I was amazed to see that on the top of the site, the major categories on the site, marijuana is now the category, one of the categories on the top of the site. News, weather, sports, marijuana, food, and culture. Woohoo! More coming up.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories. While I say these hobgoblins are imaginary, I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Free Talk Live.
The Supreme Court has ruled over and over again that government has no obligation to provide any services, even services as remedial as protection. They don't have any obligation to provide those services. So therefore, if there is no obligation on their part to provide any services, why should there be an obligation on our part to pay them?
Well, there isn't. It's only an obligation of they, implement this thing, and then you're afraid because they have guns.
People are scared.
But it's never going to end until we get over that fear.
Absolutely. I mean, we're essentially being terrorized by a group of gangsters calling themselves the U.S. federal government. The only difference between the federal government and a thug on the street is the size of the gang. It's time people start treating the IRS like the thugs they are.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want here. We got a little bit of bad news, a little bit of good news in the world of marijuana. The bad news for those of you in Kansas. Now the police can just claim they smelled marijuana and go right ahead and search your house without any kind of warrant whatsoever. So, don't know what else to tell you about that one. They can, if they want you, they're going to come get you.
Yeah.
Because all they got to do is say, I smell weed coming from that there house. And there you go. They get to search your home. Apparently all the way down to inside a safe, which is where they found 25 grams of marijuana inside a Tupperware container in a man's home that was inside a closet. So safe, inside a closet, then a Tupperware container inside the safe.
Yeah.
Cop outside the front door claims they smelled raw marijuana. Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it.
Yeah. So speaking of buying things, though, Darryl, you could go to bitcoin.com where they got a cool store full of Bitcoin swag and gear. And right now, there's a special offer that is only going through tonight. So if you're listening live on the radio or online or satellite, then you can still take advantage of this. If you're hearing this via podcast, there's still going to be some kind of cool deal going on at the Bitcoin.com store, but it's not going to be this particular deal.
Correct.
Where you will get, if you spend $50 in the store, you'll get a swag pack worth $40 containing collector coins, t-shirt, snapback, webcam cover, and more. You can go check it out and learn more over at store.bitcoin.com. It is the 10 Days of Bitmas over at store.bitcoin.com. Speaking of buying things, as I was mentioning as we were going out to the break there, Boston.com, one of the major newspapers in Boston, Massachusetts, I was surprised when I saw the headlines here at the top of the page. You know, they got the categories of news, right?
Yep.
News, weather, sports, marijuana. So it's right there at the top. I was just thought, wow. things sure have changed in Massachusetts as far as that was not a category a year ago.
Right.
And sure enough, they've got a bunch of different marijuana-related stories. This one I had not heard from the Associated Press. One of the world's biggest tobacco companies is diving into the cannabis market now with a $1.8 billion buy-in. Guess who?
Philip Morris.
Close. Not quite. There's always been
that other one,
Altria Group Incorporated, which is the maker of Marlboro cigarettes.
All right.
So, and this is particularly interesting because for years there was always a rumor that kind of flew around the marijuana world of that the rumor was that Marlboro already had designs for a marijuana cigarette.
Yes.
They called it like Marlboro Greens or Golds or something like that. I think
I heard something about that.
Marlboro Golds, the marijuana cigarette version of Marlboro. And it was always sort of shot down as though, oh, this is just rumor. It's meaningless.
Right.
But now here you go. $1.8 billion is allowing Altria Group Incorporated to take a 45% stake in Cronos Group, which is the Canadian medical and recreational marijuana provider. The agreement includes a warrant to acquire additional shares over the next 4 years that could give Altria, which is based in Richmond, Virginia, a 55% ownership stake in the Toronto company. That would mean Altria's investment would be in the same league as the $4 billion spent earlier this year by Constellation Brands to acquire shares of Canopy Growth Corporation, another Canadian pot producer. The August investment by Constellation, which makes Corona and other beverages, was the largest to date by a major U.S. corporation in the cannabis market. Whatever hesitation larger corporations in the U.S. had about entering the cannabis market appears to be fading if there is a financial justification. And I also find this particularly ironic considering that for years, these very same corporations were the people behind the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Yeah.
Remember those people made those stupid TV commercials?
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
Everybody remembers those dumb, laughable, pathetic commercials.
It was a couple of years ago, the actress that was in those commercials actually wound up doing a commercial making fun of that thing and talking about how how she's changed her views over the last 20 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know which actress because they've made a zillion of these dumb commercials, but you're saying
it was the really famous one, whereas the teenage girl, this is your brain on drugs, any questions?
Oh, wow. Okay, because there's that one. That's, of course, the most famous one, but then there's the one that I always remember is where the dad catches
it from you, Dad!
The dad catches his son with a bag of weed in his dresser or whatever and blames him. All right, so this is good news. I mean, you know what? So I don't know if Altria was on the list of the companies that were the Partnership for the Drug-Free America. I don't have the list in front of me, but it was the major alcohol manufacturers, the cigarette producers, these people that were the part of the Partnership for the Drug-Free America, which of course was completely ironic given that they are manufacturing drugs that are arguably as dangerous, if not more so. Certainly, certainly alcohol, way more dangerous than cannabis. Now, you could argue that smoked cannabis might be on the same level as smoked cigarettes just because of the smoke, but there's still not really much evidence for that argument. It's just an argument based on feelings rather than any kind of hard evidence. U.S. shares of Cronos Group, which was one of the companies that was invested in, jumped up 22%. Altria's huge investment lit up shares of cannabis companies that had begun to set up shop in Canada, where recreational use was legalized this year. Consumers are expected to spend $57 billion per year worldwide on legal cannabis by 2027, according to ArcView Market Research, a cannabis-focused investment firm. In North America, that spending is expected to grow from $9.2 billion in 2017 to $47.3 billion in 2027. Now, 10 years is a long way to project some numbers, but regardless, there's no doubt that there's a lot of money to be made in the world of legal cannabis. And, at this point, I think it's just going to be a race of states trying to jump on board so as they don't lose tax dollars that they've been letting go for so many years. Toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. We got some other crime-related stories. Darryl, you've got a piece about this Nazi who ran a car into people over a year ago in Charlottesville, Virginia. This guy's been convicted now.
He was convicted a couple of days ago, and on Tuesday, the jury in Virginia recommended a sentence of life in prison for the self-described neo-Nazi who killed a woman when he rammed his car into a crowd of protesters, or a crowd protesting 2 days of white supremacist rallies in Charlottesville, Virginia. The jury urged the judge to send James Fields to prison for the rest of his life 4 days after bringing down the guilty verdict for first-degree murder and 9 other counts of other crimes for killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 people after that Unite the Right rally. The judge will now wait until March 29th to decide how long to put James Fields in prison.
So 4 months until sentencing, but several months until... 4 months.
3.5?
Yeah.
The jury also recommended, in addition to the life sentence for murder, a total of 419 years in prison for the 9 other crimes.
Damn.
So basically, this guy's likely going away for a long time. There's more to the story, though.
Because the claim originally was that this guy was trying to get away from the protesters, that he was trying to escape from having his car attacked by these angry protesters. That was the other side of the story. I guess the jury didn't buy it. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here, whether you want to talk about the bad news or the good news in the marijuana world or criminal activity. We've got the story here about the Nazi in the car, the one from Charlottesville, Virginia, who ran into a crowd of people, killing at least one person, one, I guess, young woman.
Yes.
And injuring, what was it, more than a dozen others? 19 other people. The claim in that original story was that he was trying to get away from a mad crowd of protesters. But apparently the evidence didn't really bear that out. So we can tell you more about that coming up here. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio tonight. And by the way, I do want you to know about the Blink home security system. Look, there's a great gift idea here when it comes to Blink because, number one, it's affordable. So you don't have to lay out a bunch of money to get your loved ones protection for their homes, or maybe even a small office. I think Blink would work well there as well. There's no contracts or subscriptions with Blink, and it's super easy to set up because they're wireless cameras. You just put them wherever you want around your home. They even have outdoor versions as well. And again, no wires. So it's all done. You set it up via your Wi-Fi enabled device. You determine when you want the cameras to operate. Do you want them running at nighttime while you're at work? It's up to you. And then they will send you clips whenever something goes on in front of their each camera. So go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. You can save up to a whopping 40% off of all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. It's blinkprotect.com/FTL. And by the way, the batteries last up to 2 years, and they're just AA batteries. So when it's time to replace them, it's no big deal. You don't have to go find some weirdo battery from some obscure, supplier that are really expensive. These are easy to afford, and the cameras are shockingly affordable. Even when they're not on sale, they're shockingly affordable. But go and get the special deal right now at blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company. As we continue here, Darryl, where's your story coming out of?
This is from Reuters, and of course it's out of Charlottesville, Virginia, where again back in August of 2017, of course, there was the somewhat infamous Unite the Right rally that turned into two groups of yahoos fighting one another.
Right. No real winners here. I mean, they're all awful.
And then the next day or later in the day,
because it was nighttime when they had their little fight.
Right. I couldn't remember if that was at night or just super early in the morning.
No,
I knew it was dark.
Yeah, it was nighttime.
This guy, James Fields, drives his car through a crowd of protesters, killed one person, injured 19, and again was found guilty of all of those 4 days ago. And Heyer's mother, Susan Bro, tearfully told the jury on Monday that her daughter's message of tolerance would live on. She said, "I trusted the system of justice to handle what it needed to handle. I was not going to be consumed by hatred for this young man."
Wow.
Attorneys for Field, who did not speak to reporters after the court session on Tuesday, never disputed that Fields accelerated his Dodge Charger into the group of counter-protesters.
Because there was video
body flying. Yes, there was video
you can't
evidence.
dispute the video evidence.
Well, sometimes people try to.
Yeah, good luck with that.
But the lawyer instead suggested that Fields felt intimidated by the hostile crowd and was acting to protect himself.
I mean, that could be true, right? Like, it wasn't an unbelievable story when I first heard it that the dude was being attacked by some random protesters. I mean, the what are they called? Missing the name of this, the counter-protesters. What the hell were they called?
Antifa.
Antifa, thank you. The Antifa people are not a nice group of people either, right?
And I don't think everybody that was a counter-protester
was Antifa.
Should necessarily be lumped into Antifa.
Could be. But, I mean, the fact is, they aren't a nice group of people either.
Right.
I mean, I'm not defending the Nazis.
The people that got into...
I'm not sure which one is worse, honestly.
The people that got into the fight, whatever day or night it was, everybody that got into a fight was looking for a fight.
It sure seemed like
so it's not like somebody just happened to be walking through the park and got punched in the face and didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Both sides showed up with like shields and pepper spray and batons and stuff.
Yep.
Everybody was looking for a fight.
Yeah, and similarly, you can make the same claim about this dude in the car. Like, what was he doing in the middle of a protest like that?
Right.
He probably was looking for a fight.
Right.
He was probably looking for people to attack his car.
In the video, you can clearly see that he backs up and then goes forward.
Oh, really?
There were fewer people behind him than there were in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest way for him to get out would have been to back up.
But you see what I mean? Like, he was there in the first place. That seems to me to be proof that he was looking for some trouble.
He was looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Fields, who's originally from Ohio, was photographed hours before the attack carrying a shield with the emblem of a far-right hate group, and he has identified himself as a Nazi.
Oh, boy.
Now, here's where, and we talked a little bit about double jeopardy last Thursday. Here's where something that is
the legal concept?
Right. Here's something
that you can't be charged twice for the same crime?
Correct.
Okay.
Something that is legally not double jeopardy, but definitely fits the spirit of double jeopardy, is he's also facing federal hate crime charges. So basically, you did this one thing, but we're charging you at two completely different jurisdictions, and he's most likely going to be convicted at both jurisdictions, which, seems like legal double jeopardy, but legally it's not because it's different jurisdictions.
He's already facing a lot of time, right? I mean, he was convicted of like 9 counts.
He's facing 419 years on top of a life sentence.
Right.
The federal charges actually carry a death penalty.
What? For hate crimes? See, I didn't even know that we had... I mean, I'd heard about the hate crime legislation,
remember,
but I didn't know
he killed someone, and the federal government still has death penalty as an option for when you kill somebody, and then the hate crime is just sort of like an add-on.
That's what I thought. Yeah, so I didn't think they could charge him with just the hate crime. I thought it had to be in tandem with another charge.
Yet, the murder.
So they are charging him with murder federally.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He murdered someone, which is both a state and a federal crime.
Right.
And then if they say it's a hate crime, then there is the federal jurisdiction that winds up being able to basically be tacked on. The Reuters article doesn't specify exactly what the federal charges are, but I'm fairly certain that we could find that fairly easily.
If you want to join the discussion here, you can. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. First-degree murder was one of the charges he was found convicted of, which means it's premeditation, right? First degree says that you thought about this in advance. This wasn't, manslaughter. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't in the heat of the moment. It wasn't second-degree murder. This was a premeditated thing.
Right, and let me actually pull up the definition, the legal definition from Virginia.
Of double jeopardy, or?
No, of first-degree murder, just to make sure.
Well,
so
I mean, it's always that.
Murder other than capital murder by poison, lying in wait, imprisonment, starving, or any willful, deliberate, and premeditated killing, or in the commission of or attempt to commit arson, rape, forcible sodomy, inanimate or animate object sexual penetration, robbery, burglary, or abduction, except as provided elsewhere, is murder in the first degree. So basically, if you're doing it while committing another crime, or it's premeditated, or you're lying in wait.
The jurors, I don't know if you mentioned this, but apparently these are going to be likely consecutive sentences. So whatever sentences he receives from the judge will be not concurrent.
That's what the jury is recommending. Yeah. So now it's up to the judge to either take their recommendation of life plus 419 years or just say life.
Yeah.
Or he could say 9 consecutive sentences of life in prison.
Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. I got a story about a jury that let a guy go. Except this one was doing the right thing.
Yay.
We'll tell you about that here in moments. I'll tell you what he did to the police that got him in the court in the first place. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want on Free Talk Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. Former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. Join online at www.acs2018.com. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars.
To join the American Cannabis Summit, visit acs2018.com or text JOIN to 76280. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Text JOIN to 76280. Text JOIN to 76280 now.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever is on your mind. Just dial in toll-free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. It doesn't have to be criminal justice related. We've been discussing the guy who ran his car into a crowd of protesters. I guess it was over a year ago now, back in August of 2017. In Charlottesville, Virginia, convicted of murder, among other charges, facing over 400 years behind bars. Has yet to be sentenced. That's coming up in March. I imagine he's been taken into custody at this point and is likely under lock and key.
Yes.
Probably was prior to that. It's Ian and Darryl in the studio tonight. In fact, speaking of people under lock and key, I've actually got a letter from one of the guys from Prisoners for Liberty. We can give you an update on that group. Actually, somebody was just asking about it in the chat room on our Discord server earlier today. So if you, by the way, want to join the chat room over at Discord, there's several different chat rooms. There's the On Air Now room where people tend to hang out and chat during the show, but then there's a bunch of other ones like about gaming or cryptocurrency and more. Go to discord.lrn.fm to do that. Once again, that's discord.lrn.fm as we go to your calls and thoughts. And coming up, there's a man who put a giant sculpture on his front lawn in Vermont, and we'll explain exactly what the sculpture was and why it's creating so much controversy. But first, we go to the phones, go to the Discord on-air call-in line room where Brooksy is on the line. Brooksy, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, you're on the air.
I'm a pretty recent listener.
Welcome.
I came across y'all maybe like a week ago.
How?
But enough. Well, actually, I'm a delivery driver.
Oh.
And my car, usually I'm like bumping, my trap music.
Okay.
But my car, like the media thing was broken, so I listened to the radio.
Oh.
And I just want to say it's really nice to find someone who's not necessarily super right or super left, but more of a libertarian.
Yeah, that is a refreshing thing to hear on the radio. What? Where were you driving? What town were you in?
I'm located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, excellent. WRNN, longtime affiliate on Saturday nights. Actually just heard from their program director this week, since WRNN is one of the Michael Savage affiliates. And Savage, who is a hard right-wing ultra-conservative, is cutting his show back in 2019.
And I used to live in Myrtle Beach.
You did. You worked at the airport, didn't you?
I did, and I left like the weekend before WRNN started taking Free Talk Live.
Wow. Well, thanks for calling in tonight, Brooksy. You sound good. What's on your mind?
Well, I haven't been listening, but I assume you've been talking about the Michael Cohen.
Actually, no, we haven't mentioned a thing about it. This is the Trump attorney. He's been convicted. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I don't really want to talk about that.
Okay,
I don't think it's as important as what I do want to talk about.
Yep. All right.
Which is the Yellow Jacket protests in Paris, which I think are very important because it's far left and the far right coming together, which I think is great. Shout out to Luke Radowski of We Are Change. I don't know if you know who that is.
We do know Luke. We've had him on the show a number of times in the past. Probably the last time would have been Anarchapulco. I don't know if it was this year or the year prior to that. But yeah, we've had Luke. Is he over there right now?
Yeah, he's doing great. Great journalism on the ground there.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to Luke. That guy is not afraid of putting himself in some very dangerous situations. I mean, dude went down to Venezuela last year.
Yeah,
that's a pretty crazy place to go. I would not want to go to Venezuela at all under any circumstances. Like, I might rather go to North Korea than go to Venezuela. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I would go to North Korea too, just because it seems interesting.
Yeah.
There's a marathon in Pyongyang.
No way. Are you serious?
It finishes inside the stadium full of like 50,000 people. Now, I'm curious how many of those 50,000 people actually want to be there and how many are told that they have to be there.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the most exciting thing that's happened to them in years.
Well, they do have the Ararang thing that they do at might be the same stadium, but that's an incredibly beautiful display. Unfortunately, it's also a coerced display because people are forced to participate in it under the penalty of who knows what horrors would be befalling their family. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted whatever point you were trying to make there, Brooksy.
Oh, no problem. I'm just curious if in the United States we'll get some form of the Yellow Jacket protest where, left and right come together to fight for the issues that, 95% of the people agree on.
But is it really, from what I'm hearing, the protests happening in France aren't necessarily this coalition of, quote unquote, left and right. It's really, sadly, a bunch of socialists that are mad about a fuel tax, but they want more government.
But if you want more government, that would come with more taxes. I feel like if they're
that's why I said it's ironically a group of socialists that are protesting a new tax.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look, I haven't looked closely into this. I have heard them discussing it on the Call to Freedom, which is our afternoon show at lrn.fm. So I've heard a lot about it, and they were actually going through a list of demands, and I'm trying to pull it up. I don't know where they got it from, so we'll see if we can find out because it was really interesting. Just an absolute mess of statist kind of demands. So just because somebody's against a tax doesn't mean they're against all taxes.
Right.
And so, when you see people out in the streets burning things and destroying things in France, it's almost always a bunch of socialists. So That's why I was also surprised, like you, Brooksy, I was surprised when I heard that they were protesting a tax because I thought, that's never happened in France, or at least not that I was aware of.
I watched some of Luke Rudowski's videos, and while I'm sure a lot of them are socialist, a lot of them are anti-Macron, and he's pretty much a socialist.
Well, they're all basically socialists over there, right? It's just different flavors of socialism.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this group, they're also, from what I gather, they're nationalist. So
they're Nazis.
By definition, if you are a national socialist, then you would be a Nazi. They're not calling themselves Nazis. But, they want some weird form of protectionism, and basically we need to tax everybody else, which doesn't work. Even if you impose all kinds of weird tariffs like the, Cheeto in Chief has done, it's us, the people that are buying things, that are paying that. It's not a tax on Mexico or China.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of taxes. I know they're awful in the EU, but I was just curious on your guys on the immigration going on in the EU and the rise of nationalism in countries like Poland and Hungary.
Oh, I'm completely against nationalism, and I'm completely in favor of immigration. I think that freedom obviously should include the freedom to travel and the freedom to go to a place where you're wanted. Obviously, you should not go to a place that you're not wanted. So private property that says, "Hey, don't come here," you shouldn't go on that. But if somebody says, "Yeah, come on over," then nobody else should be able to stop a person from crossing into an area that they are welcome.
But I agree with you on that point. I think, I've known people in my area, a lot of people who are undocumented, and they want right-wing media portrays them as thugs and bad people, and they're really not.
Absolutely not.
Some of them are great people. And
every
I think they should have the right to stay
known,
here.
Every person I've ever known who's been an immigrant has been a good person. They've been looking for a better life and are usually very hardworking. People who are willing to, in many cases, do jobs that others just don't want. The old claim that they're taking our jobs is mostly BS in a lot of areas because
it's bullshit.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't say that on the radio. I can't let you do that. I'm so sorry, but we have to let you go now.
There's also this sort of belief in Schrodinger's immigrant. That immigrant that is both taking your job and too lazy to work, so collecting all your welfare.
It was a good call, though. Just you got to remember that we are on the radio.
Yeah.
So therefore, you can't say that.
I actually did find a list of what the actual demands are of the Yellow Vest protesters.
I couldn't find it.
I had to find it in a YouTube video.
Oh, wow.
But they have the text up on a screen, so I'm able to click through. So I do have the text.
Okay, so the alleged demands. Now, where did they actually source these from? We don't know, but we can share some of those with you coming up here, because I'm sure there's some pretty outrageous demands on that list. And again, kudos out to the Call to Freedom for finding it first. That's how I became aware of it. We'll get into some of that maybe coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also welcome at 855-450 free like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Do you need extra cash to buy gifts or just to pay all those extra bills during the holidays? Well, now you can get cash fast this holiday season with a personal loan for up to $5,000 right from your phone or PC at 79cash.com. How fast can you get your cash? Well, with 79cash.com, our lenders can have your cash at your bank account as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your credit history. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 79cash.com and you can get the cash loan you need now. So if you need cash fast this holiday season to buy gifts or pay all those extra bills, go to 79cash.com and get the cash you need. Visit 79cash.com. Type www.79cash.com directly into the address bar. That's 79cash.com. 79cash.com. 79cash.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,245 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,501. Antiwar.com reports, with no signs of action on the Yemen War Powers Act challenge in the first couple of days this week, Wednesday is looking to be the start of the effort in earnest. Senator Bernie Sanders has confirmed that he will be pushing the motion to proceed, which will start the floor debate and ultimately the vote on the bill itself. The bill would mandate the U.S. to end its involvement in the Saudi-led war in Yemen, which was never authorized by Congress. Last week, the Senate voted in favor of allowing a full floor debate and vote on the matter. The bill is widely expected to pass, with many in the Senate angry at the Saudis for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. There is considerable doubt, however, if an accompanying House bill can get a hearing by year's end, so it may have to wait until 2019 for Congress to actually end the war. Despite that, this is a substantial accomplishment for the Senate, as one of the very few times in recent history that Congress has not only asserted a theoretical ability to legally challenge a plainly unauthorized U.S. war, but has actually brought the challenge up on the floor for a vote. Given how many unauthorized wars the U.S. finds itself in these days, an expectation that Congress will, or at least might, challenge some of them could be a game changer for U.S. foreign policy. It is unsurprising, then, how the administration is pushing against the vote. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday the chamber will vote this month on criminal justice reform, and lawmakers should expect to work between Christmas and the new year. The reform effort, the bipartisan First Step Act, aims to reduce the number of people in the nation's prisons. The Senate could take up the bill as soon as Friday. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley worked across the aisle to write the bill. President Donald Trump said he supports the bill. Last week, Trump posted on Twitter, "It is extremely popular and has strong bipartisan support. It will also help a lot of people, save taxpayer dollars, and keep our communities safe." You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a Virginia jury on Tuesday sentenced to life in prison a self-described neo-Nazi who killed a woman when he rammed his car into a crowd protesting 2 days of white supremacist rallies in the college town of Charlottesville, Virginia. The jury urged a judge to send James Field to prison for the rest of his life, 4 days after finding the Ohio man guilty of first-degree murder and 9 other crimes for killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 others after the Unite the Right gathering in August 2017. The event proved a critical moment in the rise of the alt-right. Trump was criticized from the left and right for initially saying that there were fine people on both sides of a dispute between neo-Nazis and their opponents, and subsequent alt-right gatherings failed to draw the crowds of hundreds of people that assembled in Charlottesville. Judge Richard Moore said he will decide whether to accept the jury's recommendation at a March 29th hearing. In addition to a life term for murder, the jury suggested a total of 419 years in prison for the 9 other crimes Fields was convicted of. Attorneys for Fields, who did not speak to reporters after Tuesday's court session, never disputed that Fields accelerated his Dodge Charger into a group of counter-protesters, sending bodies flying. The lawyers instead suggested that he felt intimidated by a hostile crowd and acted in self-defense. Fields was photographed hours before the attack carrying a shield with the emblems of a far-right hate group. He has identified as a neo-Nazi. He also faces separate federal hate crime charges, which carry a potential death sentence. He has pled not guilty in that case. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Sources at the video streaming service Netflix reported today that they had sent local man Shane Fowler a personal message earlier just checking to see if everything was okay after the 31-year-old watched an entire season of the FX program Sons of Anarchy in a single viewing session.
Well, we happened to notice that Shane had been sitting in front of his laptop and had burned through all 13 episodes of the first season of Sons of Anarchy. So we thought maybe we could send him a note and just sort of make sure he was doing all right, or if he needed someone to talk to or something.
Netflix says the message, which Fowler received minutes after he finished viewing the season 1 finale of the motorcycle gang drama, was just a way for the company to see if there was anything they could do for their longtime subscriber.
I mean, we do this stuff all the time. Just last year, Mike Ralston from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, watched all 4 seasons of The Tudors after his wife left him. We were there for him. We just like to check in on our customers from time to time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Whoops. We'll get to that. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. You can bring up whatever is on your mind, 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms as well over at discord.lrn.fm. So jump on in there, talk to other folks, and you can actually get on the air with us on those on-air call-in lines, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with me, Ian.
And Darryl.
Let's go back to your phone calls and thoughts, though. You can bring up anything you want. We got Sarah. She's on the line in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, I just want to bring up that, here in Albuquerque, we have this problem with the used hypodermic needles just thrown around.
Gross.
At the parks, and the sidewalks, and
have you ever seen one?
I've seen at least 150 of them in 17 years.
Wow.
Every day I see a hypodermic needle. But I'm thinking that it's like the culture here of like drug usage. I don't know what they're using.
It's probably heroin.
Everywhere.
There's a good chance it's heroin or some other opiate that they are injecting with those needles. Could be something else, but that's probably what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of drug usage here. And then our mayor is actually trying to clean it up. And
how's he doing that? Is he going out with a trash bag and a pair of gloves?
Well, that's kind of like what I'm wondering. It sounds good. It's like, we got this problem. We got to clean it up. We have to discourage all this. But the question is, like, how?
Well, yeah, because the way they've been doing it hasn't been working, right? Because for years they've been trying to put these people in prisons and threaten them with violence, which, of course, is what putting somebody in prison is, because if you don't want to go to prison, they're going to throw you in there, against your will,
right.
With violence, if necessary. And that hasn't stopped it. No amount of violence, no amount of raids, no amount of arrests, no amount of prison terms has stopped people from using heroin and other drugs. In fact, even in prison, prisoners are able to get their hands on drugs. They have to pay 10 times as much than they would on the streets, but they can still get it because there's always going to be somebody who's willing to risk prison themselves, like one of the guards, who might actually help smuggle the stuff in. Or other inmates themselves who will put things up in places where the sun doesn't shine in order to get through various different searches to get product on the inside.
Now, I'm curious here if a safe injection site might wind up, removing some of these needles off of the streets.
That's possible. You're referring to a room maybe provided by a charity or a church or something like that, where somebody can bring their heroin, bring a needle, maybe get a fresh needle,
right,
if possible, from the location. Go ahead and inject. I don't know what there's got to be some slang for that. I don't know what it is within the heroin world. What's the slang for shooting up?
Shooting up.
Anyway, to do that and then be able to leave without being arrested, basically.
Right. And also, as I understand the way most of these operate, there's also medical staff on site. So it's not just here's a place, here's a clean needle, there's the sharp disposal area. There's also medical staff in case anything goes wrong.
Yeah,
because
and it will.
In some places, these are referred to as supervised injection sites.
I see.
And I'm trying to find out, these things have existed for some time in various places. So I'm trying to find out, is there any research that shows that, the garbage winds up getting cleaned up, specifically as it relates to dirty needles?
It wouldn't surprise me if it did clean it up a little bit.
Right.
But, of course, not everybody's going to want to go to the injection room, although it is a sensible thing for them to do.
Right.
Of course, people on drug addictions don't necessarily have their wits about them. So, Sarah, that's one option. I think it's a decent one to have an injection room. Of course, another one is the complete legalization of all drugs to where people don't feel like they have to, go down back alleys in order to inject the thing that they have because they're afraid of getting help. They're afraid of being arrested if they go and get help. We've seen in Portugal over the last 15 plus years, I believe now, where they've actually had heroin and other drugs in small amounts decriminalized for possession. We've seen
what they consider to be personal amounts,
use,
which is up to a 10-day supply. If you have a 10-day supply of most things in the U.S., you're getting hit with intent to distribute.
Yeah, for sure. So that has resulted in a dramatic decrease in the number of addicts, and that's not because they're dying off. It's because they're able to get help and they're not afraid of telling somebody about their problem, like many of them are when it's prohibited, because then it's illegal to have that problem, and they're scared to death they're going to get reported to the police. So that would be another way of dealing with this, but I suspect the mayor of Albuquerque isn't going to suggest that one.
Well, I don't know about all that, but what I've noticed that here in Albuquerque, it's like the whole attitude of like this filthy, kind of like more like a filthy attitude here. It's okay to litter. It's okay to leave dog poop. It's okay to just throw needles after you're done. Just throw it out anywhere. It's like this.
I thought Albuquerque and New Mexico in general were supposed to be like, super environmentalist types.
Well, we're very environmentalist when it comes to air pollution and petrol oil. But when it comes to, like, garbage, dog poop...
So you're not real environmentalist if you just wind up littering everywhere.
Look, the fact is, cities are going to have trashy people in them, no matter how many good environmentalist people there are hanging around talking about how much they love the environment. There's always going to be trashy people that are trashing it up. That's just how it is. And
right.
It's no different. Albuquerque's no different than any other city in the world where people don't care about other people's property, and they don't care about littering laws or whatever, and they just throw things everywhere, and it's gross. And you're talking about one of the worst aspects of it, which is to say needles in the streets,
right.
Which of course you don't want small children running. Or it's one thing if kids are playing around some crumpled up paper or whatever, but if you got kids running around with needles in their hands that they just picked up off the streets, that's a whole other problem. Thank you, Sarah, for the call tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. End the war on drugs, and a lot of these problems are going to be reduced significantly.
Now, I did find a story fairly lengthy from NPR about the history of some of these safe sites or supervised injection facilities, and they mention a study that was done, one of the largest long-term studies of drug users in North America, where back in 1996, researchers began following 1,500 active drug users. And then, after a safe site opened called Insight, they recruited another 1,050 people and followed them over time. And they found that since 2003, when Insight opened, the facility had supervised more than 3.6 million injections, responded to more than 6,000 overdoses, but no one has ever died in the facility.
Okay.
They also found that there was no so-called honeypot effect, meaning that there was not an increase in drug use in the area. Because one of the claims about we can't have these safe sites because that's going to encourage people to start using heroin.
No. It's ridiculous.
They also found that people that went to the safe sites were more likely to wind up getting treated for an addiction. And they also found a decrease in behavior that might lead to accidental HIV infections.
Like sharing needles.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you don't have to share a needle if you can get a clean one from the injecting room, which is a huge problem in the world of intravenous drug use, and it has been for a long time. But when somebody is in the streets and all they're doing is hanging around with a bunch of other drug users in a drug den or something like that.
Or an alley.
Yeah, they're just, they're not concerned with where the needles are coming from.
Wipe that needle off with the romaine lettuce.
They just want to get high. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. So an injection room gives them an option that they never had before. And what do you know? Some of them choose to use it and probably survive as a result of that. There's more coming up here. We can go back to or get into the demands of the French protesters coming up. And this is Free Talk Live. When do you want to spot that burglar? when he's casing your home or after he's in. Ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all add-on cameras and systems through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Oh. You can take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The Yellow Vests in France, they have themselves a list of demands, and we have the list for you. We will share that coming up here in moments. Plus, the story I promised about a man who has been let free by a jury over controversy with the police. We will tell you what he did to upset the cops. Coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. You can join us on our toll-free line at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
Also, want to make sure you know about AnyPay. If you are you're into cryptocurrency and you're a retailer, you've got a physical brick-and-mortar location, and you've been looking for a solution to accept crypto at your point of sale, then AnyPay can help. You go to anypay.global, get started there for free. If you're a merchant, it costs you nothing to accept cryptocurrency through AnyPay, which is awesome. Anypay.global is where you can go to get started accepting Bitcoin, BTC, Dash, Zen, Zcash, and more. Once again, all you got to do, anypay.global, create your username and password. You're in. That's all it takes. There's no application fee. There's no process. There's no approval. There's just create your username and password, then enter your cryptocurrency wallet addresses into the setup page, load their app at your point of sale, and that's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency. We're talking about maybe 10 minutes. If you already have your own cryptocurrency wallet, it may even take you less time than that. So go and check it out over at anypay.global. As we go to your calls and thoughts, we have Mad Mike on the line in California, listening online. Go ahead, Mad Mike.
Hey, how you doing? I
Welcome.
just ran across your Free Talk Radio through a video I just watched a few minutes ago.
Welcome. You're on the air.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm involved in a lot of different things. I'm the gentleman that launched himself in his garage-built rocket last March that made worldwide news.
You're the guy?
Making news. I'm the guy. I'm Mad Mike. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, somebody called in to actually talk about your rocket launch, and I'm glad to hear that you survived the encounter. How high did you end up going?
1,875 feet.
All right.
And how many bones did you break when you landed?
Oh, well, I crushed the L2 vertebrae. This is the third time I've broken my back.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So are you calling us from a hospital bed right now?
Oh, no, that was several months ago. In fact, I walked away that day.
Wow.
You know, unless I'm coughing out blood, I never go to the doctor or the hospital.
Yeah, headline from Motherboard from March 26th is, Flat Earther survives rocket launch.
Oh, no.
Earth still round.
You're a flat Earth guy?
I believe more in the geocentric model where we are emotionless and everything circles around us.
Wow.
But on all my research, I couldn't dismiss it. And I research everything, guys. I'm involved with common law. I was a lawful candidate for governor here in California just recently. I've got several high-profile lawsuits. And now the Department of Justice is stepping in because I've got everyone scared in San Bernardino. I'm
Really?
suing sheriffs. Oh, yeah, police. Oh, yeah, I'm involved in a lot of different things. We got a movie that is done. It's a documentary to me called, I think, I Am Rocket Man. It's not been released. I've got an upcoming TV show. I've got a book out. I've got a toy coming out. And, but the reason I'm calling also is, and I'm glad there's a radio station like this, because people need to express thoughts, because you never know what you're going to learn from anyone.
It's true.
And someone can say something.
I won't say that just because you believe in the flat Earth means you're wrong about everything. There's probably some stuff you're right about. So go right ahead. What did you want to share tonight?
I mean, just look into the laws and the court system. But anyway, basically, there is a way to prove this. I have a way to do this. We have a $2 million plan for me to go to the edge of space, which is called the Kármán line, and it's around 62 miles up, and we're planning to do that within a year.
The edge of space?
The edge of space is called the Kármán line, and we have a $2
Is this like
million
a flat Earth theory?
But no, that's the recognized edge of space.
Spell it, the Kármán? Is it Kármán like the woman's name?
Yeah, it's spelled with a K.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Kármán line. That's the recognized edge of space. Now, it used to be 62.8 miles. Now they think it's 50 miles. So, how did they miss that by 12 miles?
The Kármán line lies at an altitude of 100 kilometers above Earth's sea level and commonly represents the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space. So that's what you mean when you say the edge of space, the boundary of Earth's atmosphere. Gotcha.
Yeah, we have a plan to get me there to once and for all put this issue to bed.
Are you also going to, at some point, try to climb over the supposed ice wall on the edge of the planet?
Well, there's no need to. If I go to space and everyone sees this thing, it'd be a 3-hour trip. I'm going to take about 5 hours worth of oxygen with me and fire through a balloon And we've got the propulsion system here and the fuel tank already in my house. And this is I think it's going to be the most watched event in mankind history.
Wow. Okay, so you're going up in a hot air balloon? How are you getting up there?
A balloon, it's called they're called actually strato balloons, but it'll take me up about 20, 22 miles.
So like the thing that the Red Bull Stratos used to go up like 26 miles or something?
Yeah, very similar. I think they went 28,000 miles or something.
Okay.
Now they...
No, the thing where the Red Bull Stratos where they went up and the guy jumped out, that was, I think, like 26 miles.
Felix Baumgartner, of course. Red Bull spent anywhere from $10 to $26 million, depending on who you want to believe.
Wow.
I can go to space for $2 million, so it's going to make Red Bull look like a complete idiot.
So wait, you got funding for this?
No, we'll work on the GoFundMe. Will start Friday.
I gotta say, I'm glad you called Free Talk Live, Mad Mike. How did you find our show? You said you found us online?
Just found you online, and then there's someone, and then during the program I was watching, some flat Earth guy calls in, and they start talking about Antarctica, which is a good way to, I guess, maybe try to prove this. But what we need is a tipping point, and that is where at one time a worldwide audience can see what I see with cameras everywhere, and it puts this whole thing to rest.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who've said this has been put to rest many, many decades ago, if, not longer.
Yeah.
I mean, like every pilot ever and all the satellite, experts who spend their day calculating orbits around the Earth. And
I wish Chris Reitman were on the air because
he'll be here tomorrow.
He used to work in
satellite
communication when he was in the military, so he knows how satellites work.
So, I mean, Mike, I got to ask you, some tough questions here about this. Do you think that all those people are liars?
I think everybody's departmentalized, just like NASA, and they don't know any different. There was 400,000 people that was working on the moon project, from the people that sewed the uniforms together, which were 3/16 of an inch thick, to the people, I guess, figuring out the trajectory. And honestly, we can't go now. We couldn't go then. And anyone talking about going to Mars,
are the projects for launching satellites into orbit all BS? Is it all lies? There's no actual satellites orbiting the Earth?
I think most of them are launched by balloons that's up there.
Just float up there.
Is there a glass dome that you're going to hit?
Mad Mike, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call us back when you launch your GoFundMe, and we'll talk to you further, and I'll look forward to it. Thanks for the call tonight. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
You may need this herbal tea for relief right away, so write this down. DRMILLERS clinic.com. If you take meds, then suffer stomach distress, constipation, indigestion, acid reflux, and bloating, and nothing else helps, get Dr. Miller's Holy Tea or Super Holy Tea, a cleansing, detoxifying herbal tea now available at great rates direct from Dr. Miller's office. Call or click 888-660-7039 or drmillers clinic.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got our Discord on-air call-in line rooms open and available to you as well over at discord.lrn.fm. And they're free. It's a free way to call the show, even if you're halfway across the world. We had a caller from Australia last night, as a matter of fact. As long as you got a somewhat decent internet connection, you'll sound almost like you're sitting in the studio here with us. I'm Ian.
And I'm Darryl.
All right, so Darryl, I think we both pulled up the 25, I believe it is, demands of the so-called yellow vests.
Yes.
A caller earlier tonight brought up the claim that this is the far left and the far right allegedly coming together.
They're coming together and working together, and there's going to be freedom or something.
Yeah, this seems to be a fantasy that some people have. It came up on the show recently, not the Yellow Vest people, but the idea somebody had called in to Free Talk Live saying that they had been in China for the last 20 years of their life and came back to the U.S. and felt like it was more divided than ever, and they sort of had this fantasy that people should come together, and this is that sort of that fantasy continuing here that the people in France are coming together and see it's possible. People can come together.
Right.
And they can demand change and do something. But is it really possible? And are they going to get the things that they're demanding? Should they get the things that they are demanding? Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. Did you want to share some, or do you want me to share them? You got them in front of you?
Yeah, I've got it in front of me. How about we alternate on these?
I presume that we'll be going in the same order, so I'll let you know if your first one is the same one here on mine.
Yeah, so the thing that I have pulled up, there are 4 different sort of sections.
See, I don't even see that.
If you will.
All right.
First section, economy and work. Number 1, general state of the tax system. Amend the Constitution to prevent the state from taking more than 25% of income of citizens. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
That one sounds good. I don't think we should switch off here because we're in a different order already, so we'll just let you go through.
Number 2, increase of 40% in the basic pension and social welfare programs.
Increase of 40%, meaning pay more into welfare.
Yes.
So don't take as much taxes from us.
Tax us less,
pay
but
more in
increase
welfare.
pension and welfare programs by 40%.
My God.
Massive hiring increase in public sector to reestablish public services of the RGPP, trains, hospitals, schools, postal services.
Okay, so hire people for government jobs.
Hire more government employees.
But lower taxes.
Increase pensions, lower taxes.
Yeah, these don't sound like they're going to mix real well.
Housing. Plan the construction of 5 million rent-controlled housing units throughout HLM to lower rents and reinvigorate the economy with employment.
Okay.
Impose severe penalties for mayors and prefectures that leave people on the streets.
Okay, so rent-controlled apartments, 5 million more is what they say they want?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so if they think that's going to actually help the economy, I guess what their claim is the construction allegedly will help the economy. But of course, when you put arbitrary controls on what people can or have to pay for things, that actually hurts the economy.
Right, and also impose severe penalties for mayors that leave people on the streets. Well, the mayors aren't the ones responsible for people, being in some type of dwelling or not. But all this is really going to do is encourage mayors to just execute homeless people.
Some of them want to do that. We shouldn't encourage it. And in fact, they have here on this list, zero homelessness. I imagine that's coming up on yours. But wow, talk about an impossible demand.
Banks. End the banking monopolies. Break up the too-big-to-fail banks. Separate regular banking from investment banking and prohibit taxpayer-funded bank bailouts.
I don't know what a taxpayer-funded bank bailout. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm fine with prohibiting bailouts. I'm not sure about all the rest of that.
Debt annulment. Cancel debts accrued through usurious rates of interest.
Oh, so if somebody feels as though they got a payday loan that was too high of a rate, then they just want the government to come in and say, yeah, you don't owe that anymore. Just go ahead and cancel your debts.
Yeah. Number 7, which is the first one under Section 2, politics. Constitution.
Okay, but before we go on, so this is an absolute mess of demands here at this point, and what do you expect? These are a bunch of people who are mad about something,
right?
Who've come together and they've tried to agree. I can't even imagine how awful of a process it was to even come up with this list of demands of a bunch of people arguing over what they wanted to include, and then just well, let's just throw it all in here. Well, wait a minute, we can't have lower taxes, but also have greater. It doesn't matter. We want it all. You can't do it that way. Sorry, it just doesn't.
Yeah. So let's start reading their political demands.
All right.
Rewrite the Constitution for the people and in the interest of national sovereignty. Implement referendums to vote on of popular initiatives.
So they don't have ballot initiatives is what they're claiming.
Right, but they also say that they want the Constitution rewritten for the people and in the interest of national sovereignty.
So that
which
means
ties into number 9. So I'm going to skip number 8 for a second.
They're against immigrants. Is what it sounds like.
Number 9, they want a Frexit.
Okay, all right.
Leave the EU to regain our economic, monetary, and political sovereignty. Respect the 2005 referendum result when France voted against the EU Constitution Treaty, which was then renamed the Lisbon Treaty at a cost of 50 million euros per year.
I support the Frexit.
Number 8. Prohibit lobbying and vested interest from political decision-making. Permanent exclusion from the political life of any elective having a criminal record. Put an end to the accumulation of mandates.
This is a lot in one demand here. So they want to prohibit, what was it? As far
prohibit
as
lobbying and vested interest from political decision-making.
Yeah.
So
that's
basically,
a nice pipe dream.
Don't let anybody talk to politicians if they are getting money for something.
Yeah.
So let me explain a little bit here. Lobbying is the act of receiving money to basically try to influence political outcomes.
This is what you do.
I am a registered lobbyist in the state of New Hampshire because I regularly go to the state house and testify to various legislative committees. I talk to various lawmakers, and I have a lobbying firm that allows me to recoup some of my cost of taking time off of work. That, by definition, makes me a lobbyist.
And your input is valuable by those who care about freedom, because there aren't many lobbyists who do care about freedom.
Correct.
But that's what you're there to lobby for. And so as long as you're getting some sort of monetary compensation, you're a lobbyist.
Right.
So they're saying, no, there shall be no more lobbying if they get their way in France, which is a pipe dream, because the idea that, okay, so we're just going to force the lobbyists to disappear from Paris or whatever, but they're still going to show up at the homes of the politicians.
Well, my guess is that this group is, trying to raise some kind of money to influence political change, which by definition would be lobbying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to influence change just through raw, sheer numbers. I mean, they just want the politicians to pay attention to them because they're in the streets, they're protesting, they're making a big to-do, big stink. And to some extent, politicians will respond.
Well, they bought that cement and concrete blocks from somewhere. They have spent some money trying to influence... What are they doing with cement? They were like building walls around the entrance gates of various government buildings.
Really?
Yeah.
To stop people from going in?
I think so.
I support that. So I think that, there's some things that they're doing that I do like, and it's fun to see that. But the idea that you're going to stop lobbying, even if they were to get a prohibition on lobbying, people want to influence politicians. They're going to find a way to do it, whether it be, buying them a trip to Hawaii or whatever to try to influence them sort of off the books. They'll come up with ways to get around these rules. They always will. There's more coming up on the list of demands from the Yellow Vests, the protesters in France. It's Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the purest for you and your family. For over 14 years, thousands have depended on Berkey Clean Water. The Berkey guy has you covered at home, work, and on the go. With water filtration systems of every size for every budget. Now GCN listeners receive 10% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN at GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm.
If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at lrn.fm? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at lrn.fm. That's lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The ostensible demands of the yellow vests out in France, the people, large numbers out protesting over a series of weeks now. They have come out with 25 demands, and Darryl, you've got a list. Where is it coming from?
This list I found from a YouTube video where at the top it says English version, translated by the Deep State Mapping Project, and down at the bottom, it says these 25 proposals will immediately change the daily life of the French. The simple Articles 9 and 10 of this charter can bring up to 130 billion euros per year to the public treasury. France is a rich country. Its people valiant and hardworking. They should not have to live in misery.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm looking at the same list here. I've got a list here, and I'm trying to find the things you've been sharing on this other list. I've got a list from a WordPress blog claiming this is the demands of the yellow vest. They even have a photograph of the Charte officielle des Gilets jaunes, which is purportedly the original list. So I'm not sure if... What are the accuracies of these lists? I don't know.
Right.
So let's just continue. There's some interesting things on here. Where do we leave off?
So we left off with number 8 after I already read number 9. Number 9 being Frexit. Number 10, they say tax evasions. Clamp down on tax evasion by the ultra-rich. Recovering the 80 billion euros abandoned by the state each year to the CAC 40. I am not sure what the CAC 40 is.
I don't know, but they earlier had said that they would like to... what was it? 25% would be the maximum tax bracket?
Yes.
So they want taxes to be paid. They want to reduce the maximum bracket on the paying of taxes.
Yes.
But at the same time, some of their other demands included almost doubling welfare, or at least 40%
increase by 40%.
Yeah, I mean a huge increase on welfare.
Yeah.
And other things that would cost a lot as far as taxes are concerned. So.
Stop the privatization of public goods such as roads, airports, parking, trains. Renationalize all of these services.
Okay, so apparently those roads that are not government run, go ahead and have the government take them over.
Yes. Radar and CCTV. Withdraw all unnecessary radars and video traffic monitoring, which is nothing but a tax scheme in disguise.
I'm just doing little searches here for words that you're using, like radar and things like that. I can't find this on this list I've got, so maybe we'll go through my list here as well and see which one we believe is the actual list of demands.
Number 13, national education. Remove all ideology from the Ministry of Education, ending all destructive education techniques. Globalist methodology. Number 14, justice. Quadruple the budget for law and order and put time limits on judicial
Jesus
procedures.
Christ. Wait a minute.
Make access to the justice system available for all.
Quadruple the budget. So they want to make the budget 4 times larger of the very agency that is probably fighting them in the streets of France right now. I imagine the police are not on their side.
Correct.
Okay.
Media. Number 15, break up media monopolies and end their interference in politics. Make media accessible to citizens and guarantee a plurality of opinions. End editorial propaganda.
Guarantee a plurality of opinions. All right. Well, I'm in favor of having people having the opportunity to speak. So if they're unable to access, channels to speak on, that's a good thing, I suppose.
Right.
But if it's going to be done by the force of government, then that's a problem.
Right. Guarantee the liberty of citizens by including in the Constitution a complete prohibition on state interference in their decisions concerning education, health, and family matters.
Except they also want to increase welfare by 40%, and that almost guarantees that the state will decide things for your life.
Right. So, these are not a coherent...
No, not at all. And this list isn't coherent either that I'm looking at.
Now, under Health and Environment, Section 3. Number 17, planned obsolescence. Mandate a guarantee from producers that their products will last at least 10 years and that spare parts will be available during that period.
Okay. This one I heard on, so this is the list Will used on his show on Call to Freedom, because I remember specifically hearing them talk about this, the idea that they would force manufacturers to warranty a product for 10 years. Because normally if you buy a product, there's, sometimes it's a 90-day warranty, sometimes it's a full year, but it's very rare that you'll see any warranty go further than the initial year unless you specifically buy extended coverage of that product. And, of course, in order to do what they're talking about here, Darryl, they would have to increase the price of products dramatically.
Yes.
Because there's no guarantee that a product is going to last all the 10 years, and if the company has to warranty those repairs, they got to pay for that up front, basically, and build it into the cost of the product.
Yeah. Number 18 on the list, prohibit the marketing of plastic bottles, glasses, and other polluting disposable packages.
Well, we've certainly seen a lot of demand for that sort of thing here in the United States with the recent banning of plastic straws in some cities.
Plastic straws in and of themselves have not been banned anywhere. It's the distribution of plastic straws without the customer's consent.
I see.
So you don't give somebody... Right, you have to ask for a straw. But it's not straws are banned.
All right.
That's the clickbait version that the Republicans are using, and unfortunately some libertarians are jumping on that train, and they just sound like dumbasses. Number 19, pharmaceuticals. Weaken the influence of big pharma on health in general and hospitals in particular. Number 20, agriculture. Ban GMO crops, carcinogenic pesticides, endocrine disruptors, and monocrops.
So GMO, genetically modified foods. I mean, there's a lot of issues here that we could spend a lot of time discussing. I understand there's some people who are really afraid of genetically modified foods.
Yes, and depending on how you define the term genetically modified, nobody can eat watermelons or bananas.
Yeah, because people have been modifying
selective breeding is modification of the genes.
Correct.
If you only mean lab modified stuff, come up with a different word and a different acronym.
I'm not concerned with GMO at all, personally. Like, for me, it seems like if you want to be picky about the food you eat, that's fine.
Right.
If you want to go and buy all organic and pay too much, then just because it feels good, then do whatever it is that feels right for you. But to ban other people from having a choice of buying food that will likely be more affordable, larger per unit,
and has been responsible for actually getting food to some of the poorer places in Africa.
That was going to be my main point, was that the genetically modified crops are purportedly more resistant to things like pesticides and pests themselves. And they're just a hardier crop in general. They grow larger per unit, per amount of space. So there's a larger harvest per the amount of acreage, and that means there's more food. Now, that's not to say that we don't have plenty of food in the United States, but food is in scarce supply in certain other places in the world, and this can result result in more people getting food into their mouths. Why would I care if there's a little, skinny African boy who doesn't have any food, who now has food because it's been genetically modified? I would much rather have him eating genetically modified food and not be so knowledgeable about what might happen over the long term than knowing that he's going to starve to death otherwise. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
And let's work on that lab-grown meat, too.
They're working on that, I heard.
Yeah, I know they are, but like some of the anti-GMO people want to shut that down because it's not natural, Ian. Let me get...
So keep slaughtering animals unnecessarily.
Let me get number 21 here, and then... The last four are all under geopolitical. Number 21, reindustrialize France to reducing imports as well as pollution.
Well, this is the mythology that you can just do it all yourself.
Protectionism.
Yeah.
This is where the nationalism is starting to show. Of we need to reduce imports.
Well, it was also earlier when they said they wanted Frexit and to have a reduction of. Or there was some sort of comment earlier about immigration, but it didn't really come right out and say it was like pro nationalism.
Oh, they actually mention immigration under geopolitical.
Okay, all right. Let's go on.
Number 22, end France's participation in foreign wars of aggression and exit NATO.
Okay.
Number 23, cease pillaging and interfering politically and militarily in Africa, which keeps Africa poor. Immediately repatriate all French soldiers. Establish relations with African states on an equal peer-to-peer basis.
That sounds like a fine one.
24, immigration. Prevent migratory flows that cannot be accommodated or integrated, given the profound civilization crisis we are experiencing.
That's not good.
And 25, foreign politics. Respect international law and the treaties that we have signed.
All right, so this list I have here is totally different. I have another purported list of the 25 demands.
And let's try to figure out which one's real.
I have no idea. I mean, they could all be real because there's a bunch of people.
None of them are real.
Well, there's a bunch of people involved in this. They all have different opinions.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. Former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. Join online at www.acs2018.com. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars.
To join the American Cannabis Summit, visit acs2018.com or text JOIN to 76280. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Text JOIN to 76280. Text JOIN to 76280 now.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free-market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,245 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,501. Antiwar.com reports, with no signs of action on the Yemen War Powers Act challenge in the first couple of days this week, Wednesday is looking to be the start of the effort in earnest. Senator Bernie Sanders has confirmed that he will be pushing the motion to proceed, which will start the floor debate and ultimately the vote on the bill itself. The bill would mandate the U.S. to end its involvement in the Saudi-led war in Yemen, which was never authorized by Congress. Last week, the Senate voted in favor of allowing a full floor debate and vote on the matter. The bill is widely expected to pass, with many in the Senate angry at the Saudis for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. There is considerable doubt, however, if an accompanying House bill can get a hearing by year's end, so it may have to wait until 2019 for Congress to actually end the war. Despite that, this is a substantial accomplishment for the Senate, as one of the very few times in recent history that Congress has not only asserted a theoretical ability to legally challenge a plainly unauthorized U.S. war, but has actually brought the challenge up on the floor for a vote. Given how many unauthorized wars the U.S. finds itself in these days, an expectation that Congress will, or at least might, challenge some of them could be a game changer for U.S. foreign policy. It is unsurprising, then, how the administration is pushing against the vote. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday the chamber will vote this month on criminal justice reform, and lawmakers should expect to work between Christmas and the new year. The reform effort, the bipartisan First Step Act, aims to reduce the number of people in the nation's prisons. The Senate could take up the bill as soon as Friday. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley worked across the aisle to write the bill. President Donald Trump said he supports the bill. Last week, Trump posted on Twitter, "It is extremely popular and has strong bipartisan support. It will also help a lot of people, save taxpayer dollars, and keep our communities safe." You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports a Virginia jury on Tuesday sentenced to life in prison a self-described neo-Nazi who killed a woman when he rammed his car into a crowd protesting 2 days of white supremacist rallies in the college town of Charlottesville, Virginia. The jury urged a judge to send James Field to prison for the rest of his life, 4 days after finding the Ohio man guilty of first-degree murder and 9 other crimes for killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 others after the Unite the Right gathering in August 2017. The event proved a critical moment in the rise of the alt-right. Trump was criticized from the left and right for initially saying that there were fine people on both sides of a dispute between neo-Nazis and their opponents, and subsequent alt-right gatherings failed to draw the crowds of hundreds of people that assembled in Charlottesville. Judge Richard Moore said he will decide whether to accept the jury's recommendation at a March 29th hearing. In addition to a life term for murder, the jury suggested a total of 419 years in prison for the 9 other crimes Fields was convicted of. Attorneys for Fields, who did not speak to reporters after Tuesday's court session, never disputed that Fields accelerated his Dodge Charger into a group of counter-protesters, sending bodies flying. The lawyers instead suggested that he felt intimidated by a hostile crowd and acted in self-defense. Fields was photographed hours before the attack carrying a shield with the emblems of a far-right hate group. He has identified as a neo-Nazi. He also faces separate federal hate crime charges, which carry a potential death sentence. He has pled not guilty in that case. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following several months of negotiations, representatives at the Minnesota State Museum confirmed today that they've extended their final offer to the anonymous owner of the couch from the hit 1970s sitcom The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
We hope an agreement can be reached soon because after months of back and forth, we just need a straight answer here.
Healy noted that the brown velvet artifact would be a welcome addition to its media wing, which boasts a robust collection, including several iconic Minnesota pieces.
We have the fence from Grumpy Old Men. We acquired the puck from the Mighty Ducks several months ago.
Healy and his team made their first bid in December of 2012 and have cycled through 5 rounds of negotiations, reportedly tripling their initial offer in an urgent attempt to secure the sale.
It's not every day that an artifact of this significance comes on the market and went... Oh my God, it's him. It's him, okay? Hello, sir. What would you say if I went up another 2?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
We're talking about the yellow vests. It's a topic that we sort of touched on maybe here and there, but we really haven't gotten into detail until at least some level of detail tonight here on Free Talk Live. Darryl, you just went through an ostensible list of 25 demands that the yellow vests are purportedly making, and I think yours is the most well-distributed list. The one that I've got here from a blog site, I could not find the exact translation anywhere else, but that doesn't mean this isn't also a list of demands by people purporting to be the yellow vests, because there's no shortage of yellow vest people out there.
Now, one thing that's interesting, the list that you have down at the bottom, they have the same graphic that I was looking at, only theirs is in French.
Yes.
And it does appear, what I was reading does appear to be basically a translation.
The graphic, the French graphic was translated into the list that you read. So that seems to be the list from this graphic. But the text version that this website has is not at all the same list. Now, again, that doesn't mean that there aren't 2 circulating lists of demands from the people calling themselves the yellow vests, because who are these people? Well, everybody in France apparently has to have one of these damn yellow vests in their cars, so anybody can be a yellow vest.
Right.
And indeed, some people are claiming that it's the left and the right allegedly coming together. Well, what are you going to get out of a group of people on the left and the right but a list of diverse and conflicting demands?
Right.
Even within the list that you were reading, there were conflicts as far as what the demands, if you had implemented them all, there would be serious economic problems with what they were demanding. So even within the same list, you've got problems. And between these 2 lists, there are drastic differences. But let's get a little bit of an opinion here. I just wanted to set the stage for those just tuning in on what's going on. This is a story from The Independent, spelled I-N-D-Y, pendant.org. Richard Greeman reporting, published today. Montpellier, France, after a month of daily roadblocks and disruptions in every corner of France, and after 4 successive, violently repressed mass demonstrations in Paris and the provinces, the spontaneous, self-organized movement known as the Yellow Vests continues to seriously challenge the political and economic order in France. Not only has the rebellion persisted despite unprecedented police brutality, and in your list they wanted to quadruple the budgets for law enforcement, which seems like a strange request.
For law and order, which I interpreted to mean courts.
Well, usually law and order means men with guns and courts. That's all. It all comes together in the same package. You don't have order just because you have a court. You got order by their beliefs because you got men with guns.
Right, and I think the reason that I interpreted their thing to mean courts is because, like, the very next sentence was something about the length of trials.
They mentioned that, but that doesn't have anything to do with quadrupling the budget for law and order. That the whole concept of law and order, I think most people think of the police when they hear that concept.
Yep.
Certainly courts as well. So not only has the rebellion persisted despite the police brutality, misrepresentation in the mainstream media, and the rejection of it by the leadership of the labor unions, it has grown in popularity. Public support hovers at around 80%. According to recent polls, the movement has also expanded its goals from an initial rejection of a tax increase on fuel to the outright dismantlement of the neoliberal order in France and a near-unanimous call for President Macron's resignation. As the Independent print edition goes to press, French students have joined the rebellion, protesting Macron's introduction of an anti-democratic college admissions process. Students walked out of 170 high schools in answer to a Black Tuesday appeal for demonstrations by their union. Meanwhile, the Yellow Vest revolt has spread to Belgium, Holland, Hungary, and even Iraq, recalling the 2011 Arab Spring and Occupy movements. On Monday evening, December 10th, after a month of silence in the face of mass rallies fueled by anger at his perceived arrogant, condescending personality, Macron finally went on television with a pre-recorded speech that combined threats with concessions. The Jupiterian president began by laying blame for the violence that has shaken France entirely on the protesters. The state would offer, quote, no indulgence, unquote, if the Yellow Vests persisted, he said. To movement activists who blame Macron for the systematic police mayhem deliberately unleashed on their peaceful rallies, this was gasoline on the fire. But after the stick came the carrot. Macron went on to admit the protesters may have a point. He said, quote, we may have forgotten the single mother struggling to make ends meet, saying that a national conversation about the social economic crisis, which he pledged to coordinate with local mayors. He also offered a few economic concessions, rescinding new taxes on Social Security retirement for some retirees with very low incomes, the elimination of taxes paid on overtime, and a raise of $115 in the monthly minimum salary for some workers, and a call for businesses to voluntarily give a year-end bonus to their employees. The president's attempt to placate them was widely rejected as too little, too late by the Yellow Vests, who continue to call for Macron's resignation and for a bottom-up reorganization of French democracy. The uprising was originally provoked a month ago by Macron's raising of the sales tax on gas and diesel fuel, which I'm sure was already very high, given it's Europe. Blue and white-collar workers, farmers, and small business people in small towns who depend on cars to survive were outraged. Macron justified this bitter pill as necessary for reducing France's carbon emissions. Ironically, France subsidizes the fossil fuel industry, which enjoys a very low tax rate on its huge profits to the tune of $7.9 billion a year. Meanwhile, Macron's government has encouraged car usage by cutting public transportation and delocalizing post offices and government service centers. The carbon tax seemed calculated to divide working people worried about the end of the month from environmentalists worried about the end of the world. On Saturday, December 8th, however, Yellow Vest demonstrations across the country converged with a long-anticipated March for the Planet. In the city of Uzès, one Yellow Vest woman's homemade sign said it all. Quote, end of the world / end of the month / same people responsible / same struggle. In Paris, where thousands of self-organized Yellow Vest protesters attempted to gather to express their grievances on the Champs-Élysées for a fourth successive Saturday, they were systematically filtered by police at Paris railroad stations and vehicular approaches to the capital. Hundreds were arrested for possessing ski goggles, face masks, helmets, and other protections, as well as so-called weapons like a hammer, which was found in the trunk of a carpenter's car, and bocce balls.
Wouldn't a carpenter generally carry a hammer
yes,
with
he would.
them?
Yep. Those who managed to make it to the site of the demonstration were chased down by federal riot police, who attacked them with tear gas, flash bombs, and water cannons. By the end of the day, cars were burning near the Arc of Triumph, and all of Paris was in chaos. The militarized state overreaction to a mass political demonstration breaks with a long tradition of tolerance for muscled rallies held by rowdy farmers and militant labor unions, a tolerance Macron has blamed for the failure of previous governments to pass the needed pro-business counter-reforms. Meanwhile, throughout the provinces and in the small cities like Uzès, hundreds of thousands of environmentalists and Yellow Vests were out demonstrating or blocking highway entrances, intersections, and shopping centers. Like all the which, by the way, is annoying. I always have to comment whenever protesters are doing these things. Stop bothering normal people. Stop getting in their way. If you want to protest the government, go protest the government. Right. It's like when, the occupiers actually went into Oakland City Hall and destroyed the place. I'm like, finally. You finally went to the right place. Rather than destroying McDonald's or Starbucks or some, hardware store or whatever, you actually went to the source of the problem, the government agency. Going on here. The Yellow Vests, like all spontaneous mass uprisings that dot French history, going back to feudal times, the Yellow Vest revolt was initially provoked by taxes. Spurning all established political parties and unions, the Yellow Vests organized on social media and acted locally. The broadcast media, although highly critical, spread the news nationally. The movement gathered steam across France, blocking intersections, filtering motorists, allowing free passage at highway toll booths. Now that's a winner right there. You want the people to like you? Don't get in their way. Take over the toll booths and wave them through.
Yeah.
Now that is a smart move. Give the people something to like you for. Give them something to cheer you on about by helping them get on with their day and do it for less. There's more coming up here on what's going on in France, plus another list of demands. Which is the real list? Are they both real? It's Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A month after the death of leader Kim Jong-il, North Korea's 24.5 million citizens have returned to their regular daily routines this week, holding a festive synchronized disco jump rope gala in Pyongyang's main public square. Life in the hermetic communist nation is reportedly beginning to normalize following the protracted mourning period, with citizens once again donning their brightly colored uniforms and performing intricate gymnastics routines in perfect unison.
It is an inspiring sight to see so many loyal citizens find the strength to unfurl their long silken streamers and do dozens of tandem backflips set to dance music.
Observers reported that new North Korean leader Kim Jong-un nodded once in approval of the disco jump rope gala, signaling an official transfer of power.
A recent study from the Centers for Disease Control finds that over 100 million children are being exposed to harmful levels of stupidity in their own homes. Hear the debate about secondhand ignorance on the next In the Know.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free, bring up whatever you want. You know, one thing whatever you feel about these protesters in France, you can't deny the fact that they are good at getting attention. They are good at bringing the media to pay attention to what it is they're doing.
Yes.
They have done a very good job with that. The yellow vest thing was a really smart move. Like, hey, we've already got something to wear. The government mandates we all have these stupid yellow vests in our cars, so let's do something with these things. They put them on. They've been going out apparently on weekends mostly and gathering in large numbers. The police have been violent and awful in their response. But yet, in their list of demands, at least one of the purported lists, there's more than one purported list of demands by these protesters. We went through the first one in the last hour. They were demanding quadrupling of the law and order budgets.
Right.
While at the same time demanding a lower tax burden, but also increasing the welfare payments, among other bizarre, conflicting demands. And, I don't know, Darryl, did you go to any of the Occupy stuff when that happened?
Yeah, I was living in San Antonio when that kicked off. And I remember going as media because, I was very curious about what exactly is going on here.
Yeah.
And then they started saying, we are the 99%. I'm like, but I'm not agreeing with you on most of these things. How are you claiming to represent me against, the supposed super rich? And they're like, well, we don't mean that we necessarily agree, but we're representing because
we're here.
Reasons.
Because we're here, and we can come up with a list of things.
Yeah,
and give them
we're
to the
coming
media.
up with a list of things that, quote, the 99% agree with. Even if you don't agree with it, if you're not the rich 1%, then you do agree with it because we say you agree with it and reasons.
Yeah, I mean, these lists of demands that are come up with, whether it be in the Occupy movement or this current Yellow Vest protest, you have to question where they came from.
Right.
How did they organize to create this list? If it is a large movement, as this seems to be, with thousands upon probably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know. Right. I mean, the photos I've seen are fairly well attended. I saw a news article saying 1,700 people were arrested recently at one of these protests. So if that's the number that were arrested, you can probably guess there were, many, many more times that amount that were actually there. And I have not seen an estimate thus far of how many people attend these protests because they're happening in various different places. This article at The Independent that we've been sharing here, it's INDY pendant, is claiming that it's been spreading to other countries even. So, how do you really get a finger on who all's involved in this?
Right.
An earlier caller claimed this was the left and the right coming together. Well, if that's the case, certainly they're going to come up with a confusing patchwork of demands that in some cases is just straight up contradictory.
Right.
But I was also involved in some of the Occupy stuff here in Keene, New Hampshire, back in 2011. I went down not just as a member of the media, but also as an activist. I wanted to go and, find out exactly not only what this was about, but what were people saying? What were their reasons for attending? What were they looking to accomplish? What were the types of people who were attending these things? And I would say this, that the movement that we had here in New Hampshire would be markedly different from the one you might find in, say, Oakland. where you've got basically hard leftist people at most of the Occupy movements, whereas in New Hampshire, it was a mix of lefties and libertarians.
Right.
And so if there were a list of demands that were to be made, the people in Oakland would have come up with a different list of demands than what came out of or what could have come out of New Hampshire.
Right.
Now, I know that at one time there was some sort of list of what we stand for kind of thing came out of Occupy. I suspect that came out of New York because that's where it actually started.
Correct.
But again, just because you were in Zuccotti Park at the time when they put this particular list of demands together doesn't mean that represented everybody who'd ever attended an Occupy movement event. There was a particular form of organizational method that they had there that I forget if there was a name for it, but it involved I was there for some of it. There were certain rules to how you had to raise your hand if you agreed with certain things, and I apologize. It's almost been a decade since this happened. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been like 7 years.
Yeah, I don't even remember the exact organizational method, but it was a very centrally controlled kind of situation. And anytime a list of demands comes out of these things, I always put a big question mark on it. It's just like, who came up with this? Who all was involved? Because I guarantee you, not everybody had their say. And some people who had opinions, probably their opinions were left off.
Right.
It represents, any of these lists of demands represents whoever it is that put the list together, more so than anybody else. So with that in mind, we'll get into this alternative list coming up here in moments, but a little bit more here on just sort of an overview of what happened. It was a gas tax that got people out into the streets. But of course, now that they're out in the streets, they're opposing the police are opposing them. There's violence. They're doing things that are positive, like actually waving people through toll booths and helping people trying to get to where they're going, but then also standing in the way of cars when they're trying to go, get off an interstate or something like that.
Right.
So there's just a mess of a patchwork of approaches. Some are just super angering, like if you're trying to get somewhere and a bunch of protesters are standing in your way. Some of them are helpful. So it's just a mess. Anyway, going on here. Why? This is from The Independent. Why France's silent majority is mad as hell. Like all the spontaneous mass uprisings that dot French history. Sorry, I already read that part here. So the movement gathered steam, blocking intersections, filtering motorists, allowing free passage at toll booths, and becoming larger and increasingly militant each successive Saturday. Why Saturdays? I can't go on strike, explained one yellow vest participant. I'm raising 3 kids alone. My job, that's all I have left. Coming on Saturdays is the only way for me to show my anger. Women workers, receptionists, hostesses, nurse aides, teachers are present in unusually large numbers in the yellow vest crowds, and they are angry about a lot more than a tax on diesel. Like Trump, Macron has showered corporations and millionaires with huge tax cuts, creating a hole in the budget which he is compensated for with cuts to public services, hospitals, schools, transit, police, and though tax increases for ordinary people up to 40% of their income, and through tax increases for ordinary people up to 40% of their income, a large portion of the population is struggling to get by and going into debt. In response to an appeal for calm from Macron, the leaders of the Confédération Générale du Travail, the CGT, and nearly all other labor federations signed a declaration of solidarity, not with the injured and arrested demonstrators, but with the Macron government as the representative of the, quote, peaceful Republican order. They accepted Macron's invitation to resume the social dialogue, that is, sit at the table with him and negotiate more givebacks of workers' rights. The next day, contradicting themselves, the Secretary General of the CGT and other union leaders called for a national labor demonstration on Friday, December 14th. That's this weekend. They plan to raise the same basic economic demands as the Yellow Vests, but one day before the movement's next scheduled protests. So it sounds like organized labor is trying to get in on this and act like they've been involved all along, and it doesn't sound like they have been. There's more coming up here, including another list of demands on Free Talk Live.
We know you've had Dragon's Breath in the morning, but you've got to experience Dragon's Breath at night. Wolf Hill Ammo's Dragon's Breath, an incendiary shotgun round in 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and a 410 with an amazing muzzle flash and a fireball that launches up to 125 yards. Pure fun to shoot. At Wolf Hill Ammo, we love shotguns and offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market. Visit wolfhillammo.com to see our large selection of specialty shotgun ammo at great prices with flat rate shipping. wolfhillammo.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar! That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want. Take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about the yellow vests in France. And, oops, I didn't even notice. Apparently, we do have a call on the line there on our Discord call-in lines. We're going to get to that coming up here in a moment as well. But talking about the list of demands, which there's the one where there's a graphic. That is, there's a French version, there's an English version of the graphic, And that's the one you read in the last hour, Darryl, which
Yes.
we went through. And there were some contradictory things in there. And I found another list as I was looking.
We want lower taxes, but more government spending.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. And I've got another list here on an ostensible bunch of claims that the protesters are demanding of the National Assembly, and we'll share that list with you as well. We just kind of gave you an overview of what's been going on with the protesters in the streets on weekends, because it's impossible to sustain a protest for a long period of time, day after day after day. We saw that with Occupy when that was happening. It only lasted for so many months.
Right.
I don't remember how many it was, but they went for a while, to be fair. But eventually, you run out of money. Unless you got George Soros or the Koch brothers or whoever, bankrolling you, and you can afford to just quit your job for a year. Most people can't do that. So they are doing a smart thing in France, which is to say they're going on weekends. When most people are off of work, they're able to go out and do some protesting. And then that, even though it hasn't been sustained every single day, it's been sustained on weekends for more than a month now. I think, a couple months almost? At least a whole month, it seems like. Yeah, so it's been sustained on weekends, and therefore it can grow. If you didn't make it this one weekend, maybe you can make it the next weekend and, the weekend thereafter. So the publicity has resulted in more people coming out. And, of course, more people coming out means a more diverse view, because a lot of people are against a gas tax, but that doesn't mean they're in favor of everything else. They don't agree, they don't agree on everything else. Some people want more government over here, but they want less government over there. And so we'll continue with that. Let's go to Gene, the Christian anarchist, though. He's on our Discord call-in line. Go ahead, Gene.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to talk about an observation I made today when I was kind of depressed. I was kind of getting down in the dumps, thinking about the way things are and how pointless everything looks. And it seems like it's, some people will say it's a conspiracy. I don't know that it really is a conspiracy. I think maybe it's just the natural progression of bad things. But what I've noticed is that people are rewarded for not producing, and they're penalized for producing. Obviously, this is pretty basic. We all understand this.
Mm-hmm. So welfare, for instance, rewards people for not producing.
But it's growing. I mean, I've watched it for a lot longer than you guys have, simply by the very fact that I'm older. But things have gotten to the point where everybody gets almost more benefit, or at least more, I'm not even going to say satisfaction, because people aren't satisfied in the free stuff they get, because it's obviously, a very small amount. It's a very minimal level. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you work hard, you can achieve more, but then they penalize that by stealing part of it.
Right.
But you still wind up getting more when you work, if you work hard. But not everybody. It depends on each person's ability. But the point is, the powers that be, or the Zen, or whatever you want to call it, has somehow won this battle. It looks like the battle now has gotten to the point, the curve, if you want to plot it out, where people getting benefits is more attractive than the effort to put in to achieve. And I think that mathematically that's just going to play out to a point to where the system is simply going to collapse, because it won't be able to support the burden.
So you'd say we're at a tipping point, might be the terminology.
Well, and I don't even know that we're there yet, but it just really got to me today, and just
was there something that made you that set you off on this?
It was just me. I mean, I just got down in the dumps, and I said, "What the hell? What the heck is going on? Mm-hmm. Why is it like this?" And I really can't come up with an explanation as to why this has progressed to this point. But I do think that eventually it's going to collapse. And
when it does, the people who are hooked on the government handouts are going to be in a very tough place.
And that is that's a pretty sad story too, because if this actually does occur, it's going to mean millions of deaths. and people are going to be in really, really bad shape.
Now, why would there be millions of deaths from the collapse of the state welfare, state systems?
Well, I don't know about where you're at. I think when I was up there, it seemed to me that people were a bit healthier up there than down here.
Mm-hmm.
But down here, you've got people that are 350 pounds. I mean, this is a good portion of the population.
Yeah.
And they're on diabetes. Yeah. We're in the medicine field, so I know, most of the people are on diabetes medication. They have high blood pressure. They got sleep apnea. These people, when the collapse comes, they're simply going to die. I mean, there's no way that they're going to survive this kind of a tragic crash. You know what I'm saying? So it's just depressing. That's all. I've been. I need somebody to pat me on the back and say, "Oh, it's going to be all right." But even though I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, maybe it won't be as bad as you think it is. I mean, people aren't exactly starving in the United States right now, and I can't imagine if the welfare system collapses tomorrow that there's going to be an
People
issue.
aren't starving, but there are a lot of malnourished people.
Not like there is in Venezuela, where 80% of people there are short on food.
I didn't say it was as bad as Venezuela.
When you say malnutrition, do you mean people eating all McDonald's? What do you mean by that?
People who are not getting proper nutrition, whether they be obese or anorexic, there's a huge group that is malnourished.
Is there? How huge are we talking about?
33% of adults in the U.S. meet the definition of obese.
Okay.
Almost all of them are malnourished, meaning that they are not getting the proper amounts of what they should be getting.
But here, what I'm talking about are a lot of people require their medications to live. Their high blood pressure is out of control. Their diabetes is out of control. If the medications stop flowing and if they're not available, those people will die. There's no question about that. So it's just, we've gotten ourselves into a very sticky wicket. To put it one way, we've got a huge portion of the population that's out of shape and on medications that they can't live with. And then we're also dependent very strongly upon this economy chugging along. And at some point, it's going to stop chugging. And, FedEx is going to stop sending the packages and, the stores are going to go.
I just don't see the same dire picture that you do. I mean, if Conan were here tonight and he couldn't make it due to some car trouble, I'm sure he would be right on board with you. He is ready for the end to come. Pack up all of your supplies, get the prepper thing going on because it's going to get bad. And that sounds like what you're saying.
Well, and it doesn't even need to be from a human event. It could be simply a solar flare that would take out all the electronics in the 90% of electronics in the world.
That would be really bad if that actually happened.
Satellites would be gone, and that's a possibility because we've had some very close calls. It's only a matter of time, and our entire electric grid is based on a faulty design. So.
Gene, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. I tend to not have the same view. I think that the marketplace in the United States is very, very strong. And if there were some kind of political upheaval, it might disrupt supply lines for a short period of time. But I mean, I don't see why people wouldn't continue selling food and medicines and stuff. There's plenty of it here.
People would be selling, but not everybody could buy.
Maybe. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Do you need extra cash to buy gifts or just to pay all those extra bills during the holidays? Well, now you can get cash fast this holiday season with a personal loan for up to $5,000 right from your phone or PC at 79cash.com. How fast can you get your cash? Well, with 79cash.com, our lenders can have your cash at your bank account as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your credit history. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 79cash.com and you can get the cash loan you need now. So if you need cash fast this holiday season to buy gifts or pay all those extra bills, go to 79cash.com and get the cash you need. Visit 79cash.com. Type www.79cash.com directly into the address bar. That's 79cash.com. 79cash.com. 79cash.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Moments remain here on this episode of the show, but if you don't get in tonight, that's okay. We're here every single night of the week, live from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. And you can join us online anytime you want at freetalklive.com. Also, big thanks to Riley Blake. He's a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier. He's also the guy who does the Free Talk Live Daily Digest, so a huge contributor to what we do here at Free Talk Live. In addition, he's an amplifier, which is awesome. He gives $10 a month to the show, and the AMP program stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It's where we ask you for $5 a month, so he's doing twice what we ask, and we appreciate that. But for $5 a month, you get access to special perquisites that only the amplifiers get. You can go to amp.freetalklive.com to learn about those and get signed up with PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin BTC. And it helps us get on more radio stations with the ideas of freedom. You heard our caller earlier say he just happened to tune into the radio where he was in Myrtle Beach and heard a show that didn't sound like the Republican and Democrat shows. It was Free Talk Live. Now he's a listener online, and that's awesome. So thank you to everybody who amps the show. You guys make it possible. You make it possible for us to reach out to people. Because on the internet, you don't find things on accident as much as you do if you're tuning through a radio band.
Right.
It's just a kind of a different way of listening. You generally kind of have to look for us on the internet. If you look for, libertarian podcast, you might find us. If you look for libertarian live streaming, you might find us. But on the radio, you just scan in the band, you come across Free Talk Live, and for some people, it's been a life changer because they've found the ideas of liberty through this show. So if you value what we do, if you think it's worth $5 a month, and you get the cool perks, go get the list of them over at amp.freetalklive.com. We'd appreciate you signing up there. Once again, ampamp.freetalklive.com. As we go to your calls and thoughts, let's talk to Joshua on the line in Wisconsin. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Darryl.
Hey there, it's nice to meet you. I hope you guys are having a really nice Christmas.
Sure, go ahead with your thoughts.
So you've probably heard this a couple of times before. The left kind of seems to go on and on, but from an old argument that was kind of brought up ever since the medium of video games was ever explored. It seems to happen with something that catches a lot of young people's attention. I mean, a lot of people like this did it with comic books. They've done it with movies. But the common argument that usually gets cited with video games is that you're actively participating in what is going on, so it could translate to behavior.
Are you talking about video game violence? I'm not sure what you're referring to here.
Something like that. It's like it's very strange how they try to categorize some people just because they tend to look towards a certain medium. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I'm not sure what you're getting at here. You're saying people on the left categorize gamers as violent? I'm not sure what you're saying.
Okay, let me try to get that just to narrow that down a little bit better. An argument that sometimes is brought up, sometimes to discredit a certain part of the population, to either point them out as somehow prone to bad behavior, or they try to use it as a cheap scapegoat to excuse certain actions. I forget exactly which news article was cited at the time, but there was a story that took place where a guy supposedly stole a car and said that the reason he thought it was easy to steal the car was because he played Grand Theft Auto 5.
Okay.
All right. So what's the excuse about the Puritans that ran the Salem witch trials? I can't speak at the moment for some reason, but there weren't video games and comic books in 1620.
Exactly, but they basically base their convictions off of nothing more than hearsay, sure. And not only that. They basically did it all off on paranoia. I mean,
right, but the right does that as well. This is not behavior that is exclusive to the left. The right comes up with all kinds of things based solely on hearsay and their feelings, whilst simultaneously talking about other people that are, like some emotional snowflake that only goes off of feelings.
There most likely is. I will acknowledge the possibility or the reality of such a thing if that is so. Just out of curiosity, do you have an example?
This is a generation gap. I just want to answer your original question, I think, because you're right, Darryl. It's people on the left, it's people on the right, people who don't understand, let's say, gaming. They don't understand that you can play a violent video game in which you're destroying lives in the violent video game, and as long as you can separate fantasy from reality, you're completely fine. There are some crazy people out there, like somebody who might actually go and steal a car or hurt another individual, who could then say, well, I saw it happen in this video game I was playing, and so therefore I thought it was totally fine. I mean, that's just a lunatic. That's just a person who's trying to not accept responsibility for their own actions and trying to blame another thing for influencing them to do that.
Right.
And
now, the caller wanted examples of people on the right that just make stuff up off of hearsay and go off of emotional stuff. Basically, every anti-immigrant argument heard. I remember 20 some odd years ago when Disney's Beauty and the Beast came out. A bunch of conservative Christians got upset and wanted to boycott Disney because they said that Beauty and the Beast was promoting bestiality.
Joshua, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate you sharing the thoughts with us. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE.
Oh, and don't forget,
I understand it can be nerve-wracking calling radios. I appreciate
all of the conservatives that wanted to boycott Harry Potter films because it promotes witchcraft.
Yeah, that's
whilst simultaneously saying, I wish they'd make more movies like The Wizard of Oz. There were witches in there.
A good witch and a bad witch, right? There's an interesting theory, though, that the white witch was actually the bad witch.
Yeah, because she caused everything that happened to Dorothy.
Yeah, let's go to Flames. He's on our Discord on-air call-in line room. Go ahead, Flames.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
how's everyone doing?
Good. Where are you calling from tonight?
Orange County.
All right, what you got?
County.
Go ahead.
So you guys talked about a couple good, interesting things earlier. I know one of them was that guy was talking about like like medical and people who have diabetes, and he says he doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, but I mean, I bury my face deep in conspiracy theories nonstop. And as far as like overweight people, and you can't say that there isn't poverty in America. There's 100% poverty. There is poverty in America.
What do you mean?
And well, okay, for example, if you go down to LA, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Skid Row.
Yep.
Nothing but homeless people.
Sure.
Crazy homeless people. So you have that.
There is poverty in America, that's true. But it's only when you compare it to the rest of the people in America that it's poverty. If you compare poverty in America to poverty in, say, some parts of Africa, there's a huge gulf. There's a huge difference in how poor people are in other parts of the world.
Well, poverty is poverty. You remember when in New Orleans when Katrina hit, they weren't third world, but after that stuff happened.
Good catch.
Yeah. After that stuff happened, they were third world real fast. And who's the other guy? Darryl.
Darryl's here. Darryl's here.
Darryl. He was saying that there's obesity, but that doesn't mean obesity is more not taking care of yourself. That doesn't mean that you're prosperous or you're eating the wrong things.
Well, it means you've got plenty of damn food. That's what it certainly means. It just means you're not eating the right foods.
The right foods.
Right.
And what I was saying is there are malnourished people. Some of those malnourished people are obese. Malnourished doesn't mean you don't have enough food. It means you don't have the right food.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then what was the other one that you guys are just talking about right now?
Video games. Violent video games.
Video games.
Yeah.
Oh man. So the whole thing with video games is, I did 7 years in prison, right? Mm. And never one, like the media, left, right, whatever, they like to condemn video games, like, oh, this guy's a murderer because he played Grand Theft Auto.
Ridiculous.
All this, malarkey. And it's like they never looked in my past record. I'm like, well, did he? What video games was he playing when he committed this this crime? And here's it's the censorship has got to go. With video games and music and all this, or you can't pick and choose because you guys might have heard about there's this YouTuber. There's this very popular game, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And so there's this YouTuber. And
wrap it up fast.
He did this thing with women's suffrage. There's an artificial intelligence on the video game, and he hogtied her and he threw it to the alligators. And they banned him. This took place in the video game, not in real life.
They allowed him to do it in the game, but then they banned him from it. I wish you could tell us more, but we're out of time. Call another night, Flames. Good call, man. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
Anyone can publish on the internet, but not everyone is publishing material suited for online reading. According to the Yahoo Style Guide, it cautions that internet content has a few seconds, 3 or less, to encourage people to read more, to take action, or navigate to another one of your pages. So make it easy for readers to pick and choose. Isn't that the way you poke around online? Use short words, short sentences, short paragraphs, bulleted lists, and short pages. Front-load what you write, putting the most important information at the beginning of headlines and paragraphs and sentences. Same goes for your keywords, what someone would likely type into the search box on Yahoo or Google. For more tips on communicating better online or in a job interview or everyday life, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The Torchwood Report is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, December 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,245 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,501. Antiwar.com reports, with no signs of action on the Yemen War Powers Act challenge in the first couple of days this week, Wednesday is looking to be the start of the effort in earnest. Senator Bernie Sanders has confirmed that he will be pushing the motion to proceed, which will start the floor debate and ultimately the vote on the bill itself. The bill would mandate the U.S. to end